Hello there. Now I'm here. I'm going to do a BR to Lori Carroll. What to do when we don't know what's next. I spent a bit of last night listening and watching her video in stages. It's a long video, over an hour long. And she uses tarot and oracle decks. She got out several decks, turned us on to particularly the Lavish Earth deck with crystals. I'd like to get the Roomy Oracle deck. I'd like to get, but I'm just going to do this with a deck I've been working with for the past 2 days, and that's the Tarot of the Spirit. I have yet to do a spread with it yet, so this is a meditative spread based on an article which I'll provide a link to below. The 8 Principles by Dawa, Tarchin, Phillips, and he has videos on YouTube. I might provide a link to those below as well. I watched one. But this article appeared in Tricycle magazine, summer of 2017. And so let's get into the spread. There's 8 questions. I'm going to turn the camera down to my table. Get on with the show. I'm wearing Arizona State because they won yesterday. It's my alma mater. Okay, so the first question is, well, let me just say the 8 questions first. The first one, how can I serve the light? 2, how can I break my norm? 3, how can I love with abundance? 4, how can I own my own shite? How can I own my own shit, my own stuff? 5, how can I step into fearlessness? 6, how can I dance in the fire? 7, how can I invest in trust? And 8, how can I stand upon truth? Now, I'm going to expand these questions just like she did with 1, how can I serve the light? He's talking about how can we suit up and show up? How can we become present in our own lives and in others' lives? Now, I got a lot of service work question out of this first one, and with question number, I'm going to get out a book of my own, question number 4 with how do we own our own shite. Now, there's 4 types of yoga in Hinduism, and 329. I work with Dr. Shapiro. He's got 4 books out, and they're really convenient reference books for me. What did I say, 329? Service yoga. And like the Bodhisattva's vow, so long as space remains, so long as sentient beings remain, I will remain in order to help, in order to serve, in order to make my own contribution. That's interpreted by His Holiness the Dalai Lama, number 14, work or karma yoga. It's called the way of transforming action to service. It would be karma yoga. 3 types of yoga are bhakti yoga, karma yoga, raji yoga, and jnana yoga. Anyhow, so let me draw a card for how can I serve the light? And again, these cards, I could practically just pick one of my own because I'm so unfamiliar with the, put some light on the situation down here. I'm not familiar with the images yet. I'm just starting doing videos on the court cards, actually. It's a great deck, but let me draw a card. Let me draw one at random. I'm just going to cut the deck. Okay. The Emperor. This is a cool Emperor card. The Emperor and the Hangman in this deck, they're, excuse me, their crossed legs are exactly the same. But look at his legs. His thighs are eagles. So I got the Emperor. And sometimes her descriptions just in the little white book are like I Ching readings. I haven't looked up too many for the major arcana yet. So anyway, the Emperor built a firm base of clear knowledge. So how can I serve the light? I can start by building a firm base of clear knowledge. Do not become too rigid. Remain open and lucid. To retain control, know and serve a higher force. Build your world in beauty and light. Do not forget that the Emperor remains Emperor because he has a global sense that others do not necessarily possess. Yet he will be overthrown if he does not serve his constituents. To remain in power, use your insight and serve those around you. Now, wow, what if I would have got that for question 5? How can I stand in fearlessness? That's exactly what question 5 refers to, interestingly enough. But I did not get it for 5. I got it for 1, which I can make sense of. How can I serve the light? By, boy, this also comes into the question of working with others, doesn't it? But, which is question 1. Suiting up and showing up, being present in my own life and in others' life. I have a habit of becoming too rigid in tradition, stuck in the classics, stuck in meaning. That's one reason I bought this deck. It's to break out of traditional meanings. Her suits are wind, fire, earth, and water. But the court cards in her system are brother, sister, mother, father. So that's one way I'm breaking clear. Question 2, how can I break my norm? I'm going to go down in the deck. 0 the Fool. And it's with the wolf. It's a female fool with air on her lapel. She's wearing white rose slippers, holding her purse. And she doesn't have a bag, but she has a white rose, holding a white rose and wearing a red rose. That's what it looks like. 2, how can I break my norm? 0 the Fool. All is movement, all change. This is a precarious time. Take a risk, have faith, and trust that you will be cradled. So, trust is another question on here, but not question 2. Question 2, how can I break my norm? By falling into Falling into the stream. My therapist is telling me lately to lean into her, lean into the process. She's a Buddhist too, my therapist, who has worked with Faye Thich Nhat Hanh over in Plum Village. I just love her to death. Concentrate on the present. You are in the cradle of perfect love. When walking, place one foot in front of the other. Kin Hin. Walking meditation, Kin Hin. You go very slowly in groups, one by another, very slowly, methodically, walking. And then you do walk fast in like a file with your hands tight, or not tight, but tucked. Your like a fist. Your right hand is in a fist, surrounded by the left, and it's tucked up into you while you walk. Kin Hin. No matter how high the mountain, the peak is reached one step at a time. You are in the first mode of empowerment. Detachment from outcome. Undertake the present enterprise because you must, but detach yourself from outcomes. The process is critically important at this time. Do not concern yourself with the ultimate product. And see how Pamela Atkins, her descriptions are just in this little white book. Her descriptions are I Ching-like. They're Confucius-like in their answers. And so this is great, even so far. Moving on to question 3. How can I love with abandon? And just go midway through the deck. And I pick up another major arcana. I shuffle these. I always say that, when you get a great reading that's amazing, you just go, I shuffled them and they're coming up like this. It's true. Resurrection 20. No, that's judgment card. But in here it's her resurrection. Look at this. You talk about LVX. You can see it now in this card, huh? And the nude figures, the Shin. See Shin, the Hebrew letter down there? Flame. Look at this, the angel, Gabriel. Isn't that angel magnificent? The paintings are by her mother. Joyce Akins. I'm just in love with this deck. So that's question 3. How can I love with abandon? With kindness and compassion, but also in gratitude. And I have a note mentioning Thich Nhat Hanh, his mindfulness, his eating practice of when eating, like taking a bean, just a green bean, and putting it in your mouth and chewing and tasting and thinking of the farmer and where the seed for the beans came from and how he planted it in the earth and how he nourished it, covered it in earth, and how the rain fell upon it, on the earth, and nourished it and sprouted the plant, the bean stalk, how it might have been pollinated by a bee, just on and on to get to my plate, to the end of my fork. William Burroughs called it naked lunch. It's at the end of your fork. How, just to get to my mouth. So judgment 20. What do we got in the little white book for judgment? resurrection rather. Your personal perceptions and consciousness will dissolve to be replaced by the deepest understanding possible. You are in the final stage of knowledge as you have known it. You are about to be resurrected into new thinking, into a complete new stage. It is as if you are entering a new eon or cycle in the grand scheme of your life. Let this happen naturally and beautifully. Do not fear change. You have earned the right to ascend. You have earned your rewards. You deserve every good thing that happens to you. God, did I play the lottery last night? I forgot if I bought a ticket. How can I love with abandon? Trust in others. Here we have a leaning into having a gratitude. I try to walk in gratitude for sure. My personal perceptions and consciousness will dissolve to be replaced by the deepest understanding possible. I'm in the final stage of knowledge as I've known it. Wow. I don't know if I am. That's scary, man. Especially trying to love in with gratitude. I feel like I should go back to Lori's video and see. I don't think I've written down enough on that question. Oh man, we own our own ship. And she talks about crazy wisdom, or that's in Bhutan in the 15th century. They would cut the crap and the mental noise that goes on sometimes, a monkey mind, the ego. And here I have a line for showing up where needed in service work again. Bhakti yoga, guilt and self-compassion. Karma yoga, path to God through action. Selfless action, service work, loving service, non-attachment to outcomes, things like that. And I love Rumi's poem, The Guest House. It's like clearing out of the ego. Should I read The Guest House? Oh, what the heck, might as well. This being human is a guest house. Every morning a new arrival. A joy, a depression, a meanness. Some momentary awareness comes as an unexpected visitor. Welcome and entertain them all, even if they're a crowd of sorrows, who violently sweep your house empty of its furniture. Still, treat each guest honorably. He may be clearing you out for some new delight. The dark thought, the shame, the malice, meet them at the door laughing and invite them in. Be grateful for whoever comes, because each has been sent as a guide from beyond. Going. So we had the first card, the Emperor, second card, the Fool, and the third card, Resurrection, for question 3. I want to go back to question 2 for a second. Question 3 for a second. And this idea of living in gratitude and how we're trusting others, because I like the concept of how we're all breathing in the same atmosphere. You know, think about it. We're all breathing in the same atmosphere that the man in India is breathing right now. And the idea of phase mindfulness, living in kindness and compassion. Let me draw. Now already went through question 4 and about service work, showing up where needed, cut the crap, the mental noise, and the ego. So that card, for question 4, is going to be Brother of Water. Now, I haven't even gotten to the brothers yet. I'm going to do that after I do this, probably. But this card, this deck comes with the Tree of Life overlay. I'm going to do that on this card for a second. His head lines up with Dawa. What if I line his head up with Kether? No, there's like a... Okay, I get it here. There's a double image on here. Up on top, the white, and then you see like the man figure. But that top, I'm going to put the overlay for Kether on top of his head. And then the yellow figurehead will be right at Dawa. That's interesting. But let me just read what it says about, and then it looks like he's got the chakras going down. Right? So how do we own our own shape? Brother of Water. This next song coming up, Mrs. Rita, about a tarot reader in Tempe, Arizona. I've been there. It's on University Street. She's been there forever. Okay, Brother of Water. Brother of Water. Love is the basis for your new creative surge. I'm just missing these questions with the cards, aren't I? Very interesting. The question 4, how do we own our own stuff? Brother of Water. Brother Water. Love gives wings to your spirit. Your heart is wide open and filling with love. You feel romantic. Let your creativity be translated into art, poetry, writing. Give a friend a rose. Okay, excellent. Because it just so happens I like to write. I am a creative writer. I'm an amateur writer and a professional reader. Meaning reading books and tarot. So, Brother of Water. Question 5. How can I stand in fearlessness? Fear no one, he says in the article. No intimidation of others. All beings are valuable. He talks about a ripening and equality. The other, it's like the rich man is afraid, the rich and powerful is afraid of the uprising of the poor masses. And the poor masses are afraid of the rich and powerful sometimes. So the card I'm going to pick, go deep in the deck, the Chariot, another major arcana key. Okay? And there's a lot of stuff going on in this card. He's got a VT, V period T, looks like a belt buckle. I don't know what that means. Cancer, we have air, water and air. Cancer in, I forgot that Hebrew letter. But looks like some chakras again. Take a look at the Chariot card in Spirit of Tarot of the Spirit. How can I stand in fearlessness? The Chariot. Negative past influences may be affecting the present without due cause. It is time to clear out See clearly. Begin with new energy. Take responsibility for your present condition. It is time to move beyond the past. Seek deep meanings within yourself. Standards of action must emerge from within yourself to bring about lasting results. Act on the basis of your own deep internal messages. An important message is coming to you. Pay attention to internal nudges. Fear no one. No intimidation, equality. Okay, I'll take that for what it's worth there. 6, dance in the fire. Yeah, how do we dance in the fire? And here, Lori talks about identifying with our emotions and how this is kind of deep because there's different meditations here we're going to do. She does them together. One is feeling disappointment, like when you had a broken heart. Okay, let's go ahead and try to feel that. And notice your posture. Is it slumped over? Are your shoulders down? Is your back bent? Now, think about a success you had, a personal triumph. Breathe deeply. Your head is probably up, your shoulders are out, your back is straight. Now think about when we fall in love, a time when you fell in love with a person, a place, an animal. I can identify with falling in love with a place. Portland, for one. I went away for 3 years and it kept calling me back. I couldn't resist. And now it is definitely my home. And 4, we can experience joy, ecstatic, intense emotion, freedom. And the point of all this is we can switch emotions quickly like that, if you were doing them with me. And if we can do that, therefore, we can give ourselves permission to dance in the fire of all emotions. And the card I'm picking for this, I'm going top of the deck. Ten of Wind, Way of the Cross. A lot of, especially in the wind suit in this deck, remind me of Native American imagery. It definitely does. And the color scheme she does throughout here reminds me of this book called The Red Road that Native Americans, Lakota Indians specifically. And I'm getting back into that too with a group here in Portland. I'm lucky enough to have been able to get into it. It's Native American and they do sweat lodges. I'm afforded the opportunity of that. I haven't been to a sweat lodge since I lived in Arizona. And they're really good experiences. And it's not like I've been to 100 of them or anything. I've been to probably 20. And I've been to some down in the Grand Canyon, the Havasu Pai Indians. About 100-year-old Native American, or older than that, but some of the people have never been up and out of there. Let's look at what it says for the Ten of Wind. Ten of Wind, the Way of the Cross. Death comes to the old way of thinking. A new perspective arises. You have learned to think in the ways of nature, and your thoughts are clear. You're transcending old patterns of thought that have kept you caged in a reality which no longer serves you. You feel as if your spirit is rising on the winds of change. I definitely feel a change coming in my life. That's due to some astrological things going on. I'm Capricorn, Moon in Taurus, Libra rising. Anyhow, let's get back to the questions. We're on question 7. How can I invest trust? Like the idea of that we must earn trust from other people and earn trust in the world. That concept, if we live by that, our trust stays small. We have to learn to be more vulnerable in this, this time period, this world we live in. The whole title of the article, What to Do When We Don't Know What's Next. It's good for us to trust, to remain open. We're protective and we can walk forward in trust. She talks about what if red flags our imagination. If it's in our imagination, we can change that. I think of lately, if, when I die and get to heaven and God says, you could have been happy. And I look and say, you mean I could have been happy all this time? He goes, yeah. Oh, well, thanks for telling me. Happiness is an inside job. No? So let me pick a card. How can I invest in trust? Okay, shoot. We got the, I'm going to pick another card because I got the mystery magic card, master card, which deals with the invisible, Sephiroth, Da'at, and other things. I'm just going to set that aside. And I'm going to pick the card that was right next to it. The 3 of Fire, Birth of Light, the Sun in Aries. Wow, cool looking card. Look at the color on that. So I'm real tempted to put the well, hell, I'll do it. Let me look at the oh, very interesting. Yeah. Wow. Wow. I mean, that's a oh, it's yeah. Well, when you put the overlay on it, lines up perfectly, of course. It's pretty cool how all the paintings line up. This is a neat card. For how can I invest trust? Three of Fire. Three of Fire. Birth of Light. Stay on the path. Keep on with your present activities. Everything is coming into fruition. It is as if a miraculous birth is at hand. To resist this great birth would bring pain. Realize you are in a state of grace and stay with this feeling. Giving birth to the children of body and mind is not easy, but it is a highly rewarding process. In this case, your child is a product of love. Wow. Deep, deep. Oh, let's see. Remain vulnerable in love. Three of Fire. Man alive. Now I'm going to have to go back over this myself with my highlighter and spend some time just meditating on everything. What a deep reading. So finally, question 8. How can I stand upon truth? Timeless truths. Talk about Golden Mountain. These are opinions. Our opinions are hard and heavy to carry. And if you have a lot of opinions, you probably have to constantly defend them. But golden mountains are universal truths, like the do unto others. We all have a bullshit detector. We know the truth from false. So when we hear someone like who's in office, high office, who pisses on my head and tells me it's raining, I know what the truth is. So let me draw the last card for how can I stand upon truth? Sounds like a powerful question. This one or that one? That one. 9 of fire, eye of fire, intense. Look at this. Look at this tornado. Like mountains, or no, that looks like an amethyst crystal at the bottom. Moon in Sagittarius. Wow, cool card. Look at that card. See the amethyst crystal? What I mean? The tornado. Moon in Sagittarius. Now, if I do the overlay on that, it's going to line up. Wow, cool. 9 of fire. 9 of fire. Here we go. Eye of fire. You have arrived at a peak experience. You have reached the right wavelength, the right current. Wow. Look at this. The vortex. Coming out of the vortex, it looks like to me. You are tuned to the right frequency. You are seeing accurately. And if you work within the concrete realm of everyday life, your clear sight will lead to solid creations that will endure. As changes occur, do not let yourself get thrown off balance. Stay focused on the details of living. Yes. Love, love, love it. Okay. Well, it's a long video because it's a deep meditative spread, isn't it? I thoroughly enjoyed this. And like I said, I'm going to get my blue highlighter out and go over it. So, yeah, I had to put a shout out to the Gin Blossoms from Tempe, Arizona. I haven't listened to this CD for a long time. And I love Mrs. Rita, the tarot reader song. And I've been there. She's a staple in Tempe, right on University Street, right downtown. Or not downtown. Yeah, downtown. Chili's. Boy, I haven't been there in 3 years, but love Arizona. Don't like the politics at all. That's why I'm out of there. But nice place to visit. Ciao. In hand. In hand. Walking meditation.